Hello, I'm Thespian Bard, and welcome to Thespian Bard Reviews. Well, today is Singles Awareness Day. Well, for some of you who aren't in the vogue, Valentines Day. Ugh. A disgusting, commercialized, boring holiday, and today I review for you a very chick flick. The 1970 film Love Story. Love Story, filmed in 1970, is a film about two Harvard graduates, the rich Oliver Barrett IV and the poor Jennifer Cavalieri. All in all, it is a most unfortunately dull film, and unfortunately I am not able to do a complete review of it, as I was only able to find the first 8 minutes of the film on YouTube, as well as the final scene. However, from what I have seen, I can give you a detailed idea of what it seemed like to me. It starts out with a sentimental and slow beginning, focusing on our hero, Oliver Barrett IV, as he begins the tale by reciting how his beautiful, about a 25-year-old girl, what can you say about a 25-year-old girl who died? And then he lists some attributes of her, and then he ends it with, and she loved me. Slightly depressing way to begin now, and then we go to a flashback, which is most of the movie. And immediately we are thrown into an argument between our two leads. And it sounds ridiculously forced. And you can tell, as soon as it starts almost, that they are going to end up together. Especially when you get into the battle of the rich versus poor. And the conversation is so ridiculously obvious. I mean, they even discuss that they're going. They even discuss the whole setup that they're going to be getting together. The relationship is less convincing than Ron and Hermione. It's ill-written, and at least with Ron and Hermione, you can actually see it working. Here, it's just, oh my goodness, why don't you just snog already? At least with Ron and Hermione, there's some suspense. And then, so he takes her to coffee after this argument, because she kind of bulldozes him, and while they're conferencing, he asks her, wait a minute, if you're so against preppies, why did you bully me into buying you coffee? And then she says, and I quote, I like your body. Oh my goodness. Really? We're 3 minutes into the movie, and you can tell they like each other already. Yes. She's pretending that she doesn't, but she does, and might I say, the whole attitudes are going to drive me crazy. Barrett is a little more sympathetic, but... So now he's invited to a hockey game, which he's playing in. And yes, they are clearly in the early 70s, late 60s. The players aren't padded well. Oh my goodness. The film, it's very obvious that they want each other. It's very, and they're, and this is only 7 minutes in, and the plot's barely even started yet. As I said, I could only find the last 8 minutes of the film, and basically what happens is, spoiler warnings for anyone who hasn't seen this film, but really, should be no surprise considering the beginning. We just watch her die, her father kind of comforts her, and then his father tries to apologize, and he says, "Love means never having to say you're sorry." Which is a line she said earlier to him shortly after she found out that she was sick. It's just this whole trauma of events, and very simple. The two get married, the two meet, they fall in love, they get married. They get married against his father's wishes. They try to pay his way through law school. He takes a position in a good law firm. They try to have a child, but Oliver is told that the girl is going to die, supposedly under leukemia. By the way, I'm taking my whole plot synopsis from Wikipedia, the Wikipedia article, as I've been saying. And then they try to live a normal life, and then she discovers, and they argue, and it's just boring. Ryan O'Neal and Ally McGraw play our two leads, and well, Ryan O'Neal would later go on to play the male lead in Paper Moon. Enough said. Interestingly enough, the girl who played Juliet in the Zeffirelli version of Romeo and Juliet was approached to play Jennifer Cavalieri. Unfortunately, well, actually, I should say fortunately, this film is a load of tripe. She refused the film, which, good on her. All in all, Love Story is a very boring, dull, bland film, just from the bits I watched, utterly predictable, and really not worth your time watching. Now, before anyone yells at me and saying that I didn't give this movie enough of a chance, and that I only watched 16 minutes of it, I am willing to sit down and watch the whole thing if you can provide me a copy of the film. On another slightly related note, Taylor Swift's Love Story is basically a fan fiction of Romeo and Juliet. That's what I'm going to say there. She does not really get the full story of Romeo and Juliet, but it's a good fan fiction. And it's a nice retelling of the tale where it ends happily. Let's see. Valentine's Day. It's just a load of commercial tripe, and you just... Valentine's Day. It's just a load of commercial tripe, and it makes singles aware of how bitter and lonely they are. It's just a terrible holiday. And all it is good for is giving greeting cards. Really, you should be showing your love to your beloved every single day of the week, and not just one day a year. For crying out loud. It's just a pointless, boring, and dull holiday, and I don't see why anyone enjoys it. I have been Thespian Bard, reviewing the 1970 film Love Story, which has a sequel, by the way, Oliver's Story, which I hear is just as terrible. And I bid you all adieu.